Well, next up, we have the amazing Jade waiting in the wings. Jade Parkinson Hill, how you doing? Is an education specialist at Canva, with a focus on helping schools and educators communicate more effectively with parents and communities. She brings deep expertise in edtech innovation, digital strategy, and engaging school communication practices. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your virtual hands together for the one, the only, Jane Parkinson Hill.
Jackson, that is the best introduction I have been ever given. So thank you so much for that. I love when it was backstage, you're hearing talking about community and how we're in this together. I am, of course, the community manager, but I love the fact that in education, everything is so much better when you have a community. We're all in together. We've all got a shared vision. Let's just help each other out.
Indeed, definitely. Well, over to you.
Okay, so am I able to share my screen? There we go. Amazing. Okay, so hello everybody. I'm so excited to be here. This is one of my favorite webinars to do every year with the Head Teacher Chat community. My name is Jade and I am a community manager here at Canva. I've been with Canva nearly 2 years, and before that, I've spent many, many years in education. I have been a school leader as well, so I know what it is like to be a school leader. I know the pressures that you are under, particularly time. And hopefully today, I'm going to show you some tools that are going to supercharge your productivity, inspire some creativity, and help you communicate with parents a lot more easily. Okay. So my plan for today is I'm going to give you a little introduction to Canva for those of you who are totally new to who Canva are. Then I'm going to give you a live demo, which is all going to be about parent communication. And then I'm going to signpost you to some additional resources and our own UK teacher community as well, and some events that we've got coming up. So stay tuned to the end. That's when I'll also tell you how to get a free account. So all the good stuff is at the end of the session. Okay. So in case you are unaware who we are, Canva is a tech company set up in Sydney 12 years ago. We just passed our 12-year anniversary. We were actually set up by two educators and on a mission to empower the world down. Now, when Canva was founded 12 years ago, I was a business owner in the education sector. It was my best friend. And actually, it's become the best friends of many different types of people, business owners, freelancers, and we're now used by 90% of the Forbes Fortune 500, and indeed by educators across the world. So we want to provide you with all of the tools to be able to design anything that you want on any device and in any language. And the reason why Canva has become so popular and has grown to such a huge community over that last 12 years is because, visual content has become so, so important. We live, we learn, and we work in a digital world. And we can help you create images, resources, newsletters, websites that look visually stunning. And it's not just about those pretty pictures. It's about speeding up your productivity, but also producing resources that is more likely to be remembered and shared by other people. 40% visual content, when we've really given some thought to the messages that we want to communicate and how that looks on a layout, we're going to help people to remember what the messaging that we're trying to communicate. Great for the classroom as well, and getting our students to remember what we're teaching. Okay. So there is so much that you can create on Canva. Lucy say we love Canva. What you'll find is if you haven't already used Canva, once you start, you won't want to stop because it makes designing things so easy. So you may start with a presentation deck for a lesson. But then you want to go on to making a website, a newsletter. You can make now beautiful looking docs, Canva sheet, podcasts, videos. You can animate these on. And it's so easy to learn how to do all those things, because the magic of Canva, hopefully you're going to see this in my live demo, is that once you know how to do one thing on Canva, so let's say make a newsletter, you can take all of those skills into different types of designs. So that might be social media, it might be website, it might be creating a video and including some animation on it. It's all the same skill. It's just really helps your learning curve when you start out on it. Okay, so the good news about Canva, in case you didn't already know, is that it is 100% free to schools across the globe. It's part of our wider mission to become one of the most valuable companies in the world and to do the most good with the value that we create. So currently we have 100 million students and teachers using Canva across the month, every month. Collectively, we've created 1.5 billion designs, and we work in 190 countries. Sometimes that's direct with the Ministry of Education, who provides then the accounts for teachers and students centrally. Here in the UK, we work regionally with MATs, with individual schools. As I'll show you later, there are lots of different ways that you can create an account. And again, it's 100% free for primary and secondary schools. To date, we have given away over $1 billion worth of product, not only to schools, but we also give it away to charities as well. And there's no upsell. Everything you see today is 100% free. Okay. Now, because educators are such a big community, that big figure of 100 million users every month, you can all of the features, all of the premium features that business owners and individuals pay for in their subscription. But we've also created some very specific tools for teachers that, again, we know how busy you are. We know you've got a limited amount of time to create resources. And yeah, these tools hopefully are going to help you to do that much quicker and inspire creativity in your classroom. So first up, a little known fact is that we have I think actually this figure now is close to 100k education specific resources built in Canva. So these are curriculum aligned resources. And we also have a UK team here who are teachers who are still working in the classroom, who are designing resources aligned with the national curriculum. So not only will you find resources on there that are created globally for teachers, you will also find UK-specific curriculum-aligned resources. In addition to those templates that are created for teachers, you also have access to nearly 4 million non-education resources. These are photographs, videos, elements, audio clips, graphics, huge ton of things that you can use for your learning resources to communicate with parents that your students can also use totally for free, copyright free. If you've already got a library of resources that you're working with, don't worry, you can upload them very simply to Canva. Our Magic AI will recognize all the fonts, all the different elements that you've got within your document, and you'll be able to modify and improve them in Canva. You can also share lessons and track progress in Canva, as this is a great tool when you're getting students to work on maybe projects and they're collaborating. Maybe you want to give them feedback throughout that project. This feature is highly recommended. And then we've got something called Magic Write. So when you go into Canva the first time, you'll find that we've got a whole suite of AI tools. But Magic Write is something that I use all the time to really speed up my report writing, copywriting for social media. And I know it's a really popular tool with our existing community and our expert teachers. It's going to help you to write reports quickly. It's going to help you to summarize maybe an in-depth report that one of your members of staff has written and that maybe you want to share with the wider team. So you can take a look at Magic Write. It's super fun. Where it differs maybe from other AI writing tools is that we've created lots of shortcuts. So you can say things like, make this more formal, make it formal, make this a bit more chatty with a bit more humor or with less humor. So that just really speeds up that whole creativity and productivity process. Canva is always launching new features. We have 2 big feature releases every year, one for Canva Create in April, and then we've got another one upcoming in October. This year, I think, was our biggest and best Canva Create, and we launched two new features, which I think will be really interesting for teachers to explore. One is the visual suite. This is where in one doc, you can have lots of different assets in different formats. So let's say you're planning a new project. You might want to have a doc with your curriculum planning. You can also then add in a presentation deck. Maybe they're your student resources. Maybe you want to include a graphic for a poster to go in the classroom. But basically, you can take lots of different kind of doc creation types and store them in one place. It makes it easier when you're working across documents and a project, but it also makes it easier to share with your colleagues and students. Undoubtedly, the most exciting thing that we launched at Canva Create this year for teachers was Canva Code. This is another AI tool where you can simply ask it to create things like educational games, quizzes, widgets, timers, countdowns, buttons. You can create badges for students to receive after they completed a quiz. It is amazing, only limited by your imagination. So if you haven't already checked out Canva Code, please do. It is amazing. Everybody that's tried it so far, either at one of our events, in our webinar, or from Canva Create, have absolutely loved it. It's going to inject that fun and interactive engagement into your lessons. Okay, so for me, all these features are amazing for teachers. They're great for you. But I think one of the big things about Canva is the power that it has for your students. When I worked in education, my role in education was all about preparing students for the next step. And when you invite students to come on Canva to showcase their learning in Canva, they're going to develop so many skills that will prepare them for the future of work, and having that AI literacy as well. Canva is a great safe space for students to have a play around with those AI tools. And big thing to know about AI tools are that you can switch them on or you can switch them off for students. It's entirely within your gift to do. But they are safe for all ages. Canva has invested a huge amount of resources in something called the Canva Shield. So it's safe for students to use. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, I have like a whole group of expert teachers who come together in our Canvasta community. And I just wanted to share two little slides, just sharing how they feel, what they feel about Canva, and how awesome it is for students. So here's Laura Dickinson. She's based up in the Northeast. Laura uses Canva with a full range of different ages, from primary schools right up to secondary schools. It's accessible for all, and she finds it a really fun way to help students to create digitally and showcase their learning. Likewise, the wonderful Caroline And I'm back. I'm not sure where I went now. Oops. Okay, so let's move on to a live demo. So just bear with me. I'm going to escape out of here and we're going to move into home. So hopefully you can all see this. And this is my dashboard. I'm going to take you through how to create a newsletter super quick, how to create a website, and then we're going to talk podcast right at the very end. So let's start off with the dashboard. So this is my home screen in my education account. Claire, I can see you're asking about how to pay for Canva. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you how to get a free account right at the end of this session. So this is our dashboard, and as you can see here up at the top, we've got some shortcuts to all of the different types of designs that you might want to create on Canva. So presentation, whiteboard, docs, Canva sheet, and this will take you to some education templates. But before we go to that, let's have a look at this toolbar here on the right-hand side. So we've got your projects. When you start with your Canva account, I highly recommend that you organize your creations into different projects. It will just help help with organization in the long run if you start that file putting everything into projects at the beginning of your journey. Next up, we've got templates. I'm going to come to that in a little minute. Brand Kit is the best tool for parent communication, because this is going to help you to keep a very consistent look and feel to your brand. So we just click here. We'll have a look at this one here. So this is a fictional tool that we've added just so that you can see what you need to add to your toolkit. So first of all, we've got a logo here. Add that in as a PNG with a transparent background. That makes it easier to add to all your docs. And then as you can see here, we've got 4 different sets, 4 different brand colors that are aligned to that logo. The other ones we're just going to kind of ignore because they're for kind of like different demonstrations. But yeah, it's so easy. What you will need to do is find the color code, add it in here, and your brand colors will magically appear. There you go. I'm going to show you how to use that. You can also add other things as well into your brand kit, like photographs. You can add graphics, and you can also add a brand voice. So this is where, if you were a company, maybe you would talk about who's your target audience and what tone you would like your copy on your website or in your newsletters to be. So it might be informal for some, it might be very formal for a school. But once you've got that brand voice in there, when you use Magic Write AI, it's going to automatically make sure that it's maintaining a consistent tone for your brand. Okay. So this is Canva AI. This is a new tab that was launched as Canva Create. And as you can see, this is your starting point for whether, when you want to create something with AI. That might be creating an image. It might be helping to draft a doc using Magic Write. It's also where you find Canva code, so you can start playing with that straight away. You can now as well, this is a recent addition to Canva, create a video clip. Next up, we've got our apps. A whole host of apps that you can use here as part of your Canva education subscription. The one that I think is the most useful for parent communications is a QR code. So you can click here, choose one of the generators, add a link, and you'll be able to create a QR code for free and add it to your newsletters, websites, posters, whatever you're creating for parent communication. And last up here, we've got classwork. So this is where you can share assignments, you can review them and make some comments. And then we've also got a new AI tool specifically created for teachers. This one is all about creating activities for the classroom. So it's currently in beta, but once you create an account, you can sign up for the beta program and start having a play around with it. Okay, so back to templates. So, yeah, Canva has thousands of templates in its library. And the purpose of those templates are to make sure that you never have to start with a blank space. And so that you have templates that are beautifully designed by professional graphic designers that you can take, you can change the words, you can add in your logo, you can add in photos or even videos, and you can create something that is super professional looking in super quick time. So let me show you here before we go into a newsletter template. If you just click on education, let's say you want a resource for art and design. There are some shortcuts here as well. So make sure you go and have an explore with that if you're looking for wider lesson resource templates. Okay. So let's search for school newsletters and see what we get. Okay, we've got over 4,000 templates that you can make use of. Let's take a look. Let's just choose one. I'm going to choose this one because I quite like the big grid on there. I think that's nice to work with. I'm just going to press customize template. Now, I think having worked in a school and on a school leadership team, I know that most likely you're probably not creating a newsletter in isolation. And this is one of the most powerful features, I think, in our Canva education platform. So you can start with a template, but then you can share it with your colleagues. You can tag them in comments. So let's say here for this what's new article, you've got a specific colleague in your team that you want to add some words, maybe about an up and coming nativity play. Maybe they've already got a poster design and they could drop in here. So this is going to really speed up your design process because you're going to be able to work collaboratively with your team. So we've got this newsletter document here. It's in kind of yellow colours. But if we go back to our brand kit, I would rather have it more aligned with our school brand. This helps with parent communication because we're using a sister brand. Parents know immediately when they see something in our brand colours that it's from us. So the first thing I'm going to do is I just clicked on the logo. I've resized it. Undo button. We don't like that. And again. And we're just going to move over into the corner. Oops, there's more room for the mouse. There we go. And I'm going to move that back. So as you can see, if you want to play with an element, if you want to move it around, all you need to do is just click on it. This little toolbar is going to appear and you're going to be able to just move it around with your mouse. So we've added the logo up here. Next, let's see if we can change those brand colours so that our parents recognise immediately that this is a school communication. I love this tool. It's amazing. We're just going to click shuffle. And straight away, all of the colours are changing so that they're aligned with our brand. And we just need to pick one that I think I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with that one because I quite like all of the mind space. Okay, so how easy is that? How easy and fast is that to change one of our templates so that it's aligned to your school brand? Next up, what you might want to do is change some of the text. So I'm just going to change it to Year 7 newsletter. Again, all I did was I just double clicked on the text and then I changed the type. If you want to change the color and the font, again, that's super easy. Canva knows that I'm working with this text box here, so it's added a floating toolbar at the top. So I can change the font here by clicking on the font. I'm going to go with that one. You change the size of it. I can also change the color. I'm going to go with that one. There we go. So it's really easy to change up your resources. Now, you might want to make use of the Canva photo library. So if we click on elements over here, I am just going to find a picture of a school library. Here we go. I like this picture immediately, so I'm going to click on it. I'm going to drag it over. I'm just going to put it in here. And it's that simple. It's drag, drop, take it over into your template. You can do this also with videos. So here's one. Let's just drag it over and we're going to put it in there. Elements, you can have so much fun with elements. So let's have a look at graphics. Go. And let's click here. Oh, geez, let's click here. Okay. So here's the lovely library too, little library graphic here. So I did it several times because I was being impatient. Nice tip for you when you're creating learning resources is if you just click on the graphic here and you'll see 3 little dots. Scroll down, press on info, and you can see, press on see more like this. And it's going to give you a whole library of graphics that match with the one that you've picked, which I totally love. It's great for maybe if you're creating science resources or maths resources and you want images that are specific to that curriculum. This is a handy little tool as well. So we've got this graphic there. It's quite colourful. It's different to our school brand, but you can just press apply colours to page. It's automatically going to make sure that your colours match that graphic. Well, that's not what we want to do. And one of the most powerful tools in graphics in Canva is the undo button. Never be frightened to try something out because you can always press undo. Okay. So that's a very quick way to generate a newsletter. When it's finished, when it's complete, you're going to want to share it. So here's how you do that. So you can download it as a PDF. Click here. PDFs. You can also share a public view link. So you could maybe send this out on your parent communications platform. Parents can't change it. They're just going to be able to view it almost like a website. The other thing again about Canva is that you can click on this little analytical tool here. And you're going to be able to see how many people have viewed your newsletter. And you will be able to get some demographics as well. So that will be able to help you just measure the impact of your newsletters. Okay, so let's move on to websites. Because all of those skills that I've showed you for how to create a newsletter, you're going to be able to use in how to create a website. And if you've ever created a presentation slide deck in Canva, then you're going to find creating websites really, really easy. First step is we have a look at templates. That makes our lives a lot easier. So we'll have a look at school newsletters. School website. Let's see. We can. Okay. And as you can see here again, we've got a whole host of website templates that you can use. They're all beautifully designed. You simply can click on them. I'm going to use this one. This has got 13 pages. And I'm just going to press apply all 13 pages. And there you go. We've got a 1-page website. Super quick, super easy. All you need to do is change the colors, change some of the elements, add your branding, and change your copy. And I think this is really such a clever tool to use as I said, they're professionally designed. Your website's going to look like you are a professional graphic designer has used it, and it's going to take no time for you to remember it. So let's click over in brand again. Once again, we're going to change the colors. In the first instance, it's just changed the colors on the page. But if we click here, it does all of the pages at the same time. Now, websites in Canva have recently got an upgrade, so you can now create multi-page websites. So to do that, all you do is click here. We're going to add a page. And go back to templates, back to design. I'm going to find a different template. This is just for illustrative purposes. Welcome to my class. I really like this one. I found this one earlier today. And again, I'm going to apply all 7 sections, 7 pages, and there we go. Super lovely, beautiful little website template for you to adapt. Now, to create the navigation in your website, what you do is we click down here. Again, we just look at those 3 little buttons there. I'm going to give each page a title. So we're saying home page. And then I'm going to flick down here again. And I'm going to click class page. Classroom. We'll just call it classroom. And then you can see when we preview the website, the navigation is automatically built in. That's a really new addition, a very, very welcomed addition for our Canva community for websites. A couple of other things that I want to show you for websites is that quite often, maybe you're creating a website that is for a homework project for students, or maybe you're creating a website that's for a residential trip for students. And within that website, you may want to add in some links to resources, maybe to where you're going. So we're just going to add in some text here. And there's lots of different ways that you can add in a link. So I've got a link here, canva.com/education. So you can literally just add it like that. So it's a hyperlink that people can cut and paste and copy into a browser. The other thing as well that you can do is you can add a button. So here is a button. We're going to add some text. And click here. I'm going to move that up. And then I'm going to take this. And I'm going to copy it. There you go. That's it. Put it in. No lunch. And okay, we'll just put it in here. Canva.com education. Go. And then you've got a clickable button. The other way that you might want to add a link is to add it as an embedded file. So you click here and look at this link. Let's just do it here. Let's go over here. Location. Let's hit it here. Press copy. I'll take it back. Paste. Click on here, and as you can see, it's added it and it's an embedded file. I think that's a really lovely feature for creating websites. It automatically gives some color and some images to your website, and it's a nice feature to use. So once again, you can use the comment section to add in colleagues and collaborate and make this website creation process much quicker and also a team effort. When you're ready to publish it, It looks slightly different on here because I'm using a student account. But when you're ready to, and students can't publish websites, that has to be done by a teacher for obvious safeguarding reasons. But if you're in a teacher account, you'll be able to publish it from here. Just a couple of things to note is that you can publish a website and you can add a security code, again, for safeguarding purposes. You have one domain that you can use across the school and then add in your own extension. Or you can use kind of a general Canva domain link. But what's really important to note is that when you publish it, make it public, and then you want to make some changes, you have to go back into this and press republish. So just make sure every time you make a change, every time you edit your website, that you republish it so people get the update, because otherwise they'll only see whatever you've previously published. And then once again, you've got some analytical tools here so you can measure the impact of your parent communication. That is websites. Let's go back into our presentation deck. We did one lovely little tool, which I've seen lots of our parents use, our expert teachers use, that our Canvastor community, is podcasts. Back when we were at BET in January, we had a group of 10-year-olds who had created a podcast, start to finish, in Canva. That just blows my mind. What was even more amazing is they had such an extensive knowledge of our app library. They had used apps that I'd never even heard of to add in sound effects, a whole host of wonderful things to their podcast. But I encourage you to go and have a play around with how to create a podcast in Canva. I think this is a great way to communicate with parents. It might be something that you want to do, maybe a head teacher podcast that goes out once a term, maybe once a week, just recapping everything that's on in the school. Students can use it also to showcase their learning, and classroom teachers can use it as well, maybe to showcase a project that students have been working on. And as with the other tools that you've seen today, both newsletters and website, you can collaborate on it as well. So for students, you might want them all to get to add in, some, a voice note about a project or about a trip. And then somebody can edit it, put it all together and make a beautiful podcast for your parents. Today, it's going to take a little bit of time, so not enough time for it today. But if you follow this QR code, there is a podcast toolkit that you can use. And when I finish this presentation, I'm going to put a link to a YouTube webinar from one of my colleagues over in America who does a really in-depth demonstration of how to quickly create a podcast. Well worth the watch if you've got the time. Okay, so that kind of includes all of our the demo from today. Let me tell you a little bit more about how to access Canva education for free. Okay, so there are 3 different ways to grab your free account. The first one is to visit that QR code. It will take you to canva.com/education. And this will help you to create an account for yourself. It's what we call verified teacher status. You'll have to provide some proof that you are currently employed by a school. When you click on the application form, it will tell you the most up-to-date types of identification that the team will accept. If you upload the right ID, it usually takes about 24, 48 hours to complete. Now, that's great. That's a great way for you to be able to access Canva education for free, super, super quick. When you've got your account, you can then invite in your colleagues, you can invite in your students to your classroom. But that's quite manual. The way that I recommend that you look to use Canva across your school is to set up a whole school account. This is what we call our SSO product. And you have to complete a form. Somebody in your ICT team might need to help you complete it. But what we do is basically we look at your domain and we verify the whole of your school at one time. And then we connect with either your Google, your Microsoft, your Clever, whatever your students and teachers use to kind of access, software tools, computers, etc. We'll integrate with that. And then from there, it literally takes about 30 seconds. You can create accounts for all teachers, all students, all members of staff in one hit. The beauty of that product as well is that you've then got one central dashboard where you can manage, grouping students into year groups, into classes. You can turn on the AI features for students. You can turn them off. You can upload your Brun kit in that dashboard for all members of staff to use as well across their accounts. So I highly recommend going through that process. It does take a little bit longer, but it's worth the investment. You'll also find as well that some of our features will roll out to that whole school product and only to that whole school product. So recommend you do that. If you're already a Google school and you've got less than 10,000 users, then you have a third option. This is it's just as quick as the verified teacher status. Again, you may need to work with whoever your Google's school's admin is, but we just connect up to that and you can create those accounts in super fast time. It will give you all of the dashboard features, the power to turn AI on, to turn it off for your students as you get in the SSO product. It's just a slightly quicker way to onboard. Been lucky enough this year to be traveling around the UK, and we've been hosting 3 one-day learning labs. We've been to Manchester, we've been to Leeds and Birmingham. This time we're heading up to Newcastle, to Glasgow, to Cardiff. So London is sold out, but I think the likelihood is we will put on a second date. So again, follow this QR code. Come and see us at one of these live in-person events. They are amazing. The feedback has been absolutely outstanding. We have a whole set of workshops for you to participate in. If you are a beginner, there are workshops for you. If you want to learn more about things like Canva Sheet, which is our version of Excel, except it's got loads of design functionality in and AI tools in, absolutely beautiful. If you want to learn about Canva code, if you want to learn how to create video or animation in Canva, there are workshops specifically for you. So whether you're a beginner or advanced, I highly recommend you come along to one of those sessions. They are super awesome. If you can't get to us in person, then take a look at Design School. This is our library of on-demand training. Most of them are kind of like micro learnings, 3 or 4 minutes, and it takes you through, how to create a website, what I've done for you today. But you can also explore our certifications specifically for the education sector. So we have a Canva teacher certification, there is a Canva code certification, AI for teacher certification, a whole host of stuff that you can go through relatively quickly. Probably take you an hour, maybe 2 at most to complete. And yeah, it's a great way to supercharge your skills in Canva. I also host a Facebook community. Please do come and join us. We have lots of people who are just like you, using Canva in the classroom, sharing their ideas, asking questions if they get a bit stuck on things. But we also host weekly webinars. We're doing a special run of webinars for back to school where we will be inviting our expert teachers, they're called ambassadors, who'll be sharing case studies. They'll also be sharing things like, we'll be focusing on things like video animation, different features of the Canva platform. So please do come and join us in that webinar, in that Facebook group. We also run design challenges as well and give lots of things away for free. So Lots of fun to be had as well as some really good learning. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm open for any questions.
Well, that was amazing, Jade, as always. I mean, we loved your presentations and what you can do, and all the updates on it. And I'm going through the questions so far on, and it says, can you use it in Google Classroom?
Yeah, absolutely. So Canva is available on all devices, on all internet browsers.
I think you answered most of the other questions on there. Yeah, so fantastic. And the one thing that I would mention is that in October, we're coming down to your Canva headquarters, aren't we?
You are.
And a face-to-face event at Canva, food provided, and we're having a presentation by Jade. So,
Yes.
into our try booking, and you'll see the Canva pin. I'll send a link into the chat, and anyone around the London area, come and see us. Come and meet up. It's a face-to-face event. It's our next community event after this one. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's exciting. An event at Canva is not to be missed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple now, and they have always been amazing. It's sort of like, number one, the venue is incredible anyway. And we're in a new venue for this time, but the previous one, I love that venue. It's a great place to just connect, meet up with people, and share ideas, basically. So we're just confirming some of the people that are coming along, and we're doing more advertising about it in the next couple of weeks. But I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. So can't wait.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that presentation. Definitely a quick, workshop on Canva. It's magical. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Wonderful. And I hope everybody is feeling good and in the zone. If you enjoyed that, type a big C for Canva in the comments below for me right there. There's one thing to have the mindset. There's another thing to have the tool set. And that's what Canva does, just makes life easier. And AI has now been part of it, just makes things a lot easier, which is great. I believe we're going to be going straight into a little video now before we bring on the amazing John True, who's going to be taking us on a journey after this particular video. In the meantime, take a look at this video on the success stories and impact in action of school leaders community.
Here's what we've achieved so far.
This particular feedback definitely paints the picture of why this platform is the place to be. It says this: I am on day one of inspection. On Monday, we got the call. But what helped was that over the last couple of weeks, we had been compiling our thoughts on the phone call using the documents from this group. So when the call came, we just went through our script page by page along with the inspector. This was like having your clothes ironed for you or stabilizers on a bike. It helped immensely.
But for me, I think it's the connection piece. I really think with education is at the moment, and so, fragmentation that exists within our system. And one of the things that's become really apparent to me, again, just through all those different pages of my life is we are part of a great whole. And I feel that actually my head teacher chatted this really, the relationship, the connection, again, we lead in relationships to one another. We need one another. And I think, if anything, there's something around what are the connections that individuals have built.
I like the collection of news articles, DFE updates and Ofsted updates. And the chats are great too.
I wish I had this years ago. A school business manager says the best thing I've ever joined. This is the kind of feedback that we are getting when it comes to this school leaders community. And Charlie definitely has a hand in all of this.
Of Charlie is our new section to this platform. So you go up to the directness, and he's got our Charlie there. So he's got the agent at the end. We've been practicing it out for a while, so
People have called it a game changer, and I agree with them actually. So it's like a virtual AI agent. You imagine you could ask 1,000 riders of questions when you find yourself in a situation where you just do not know what to do. You can ask Charlie, and Charlie will show you.
This is real support from school leaders who have experience of the pain you're going through. It's what's inspired the building of this community and this space.
For more information about becoming a member of our community, scan the QR code below.